Yo, what's going on? Back this week with another live from the Tech Gent. We on time this week. Worked out the bugs from last week. Got everything going. Give everybody a second to hop in. Appreciate the people that's already stopped through. If you in the building already, go ahead, drop a comment in. Let me know you're here. Just give me a shout out, say what's up. Let everybody know that I appreciate y'all for stopping through. So you already got a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Yeah, if y'all could hit that thumbs up button. Just give me some interaction on the video. That helps me. My baby, hey, how you doing? I'm gonna say, and if you could, like I said, this is gonna be every week. Every week on Tuesday, 11:30, same time, same place. Lunch with the Tech Gent, just to give us something else to do. During COVID, everybody's cooped up inside. Give us another option, another outlet, and fill this space where there's usually nothing going on tech wise. Got a phone call coming through, sending them to voicemail. All right. Got a couple more people coming in. So, just to get you guys an update, the stream's gonna be 45 minutes. We're gonna try out 45 minutes, see how that goes. Hey, mama, how you doing? Yeah, so we're gonna see how 45-minute goes. I think 11:30 covers. Yeah, the car seats are back for sure. But we're gonna see how 45 minutes works out. Being by yourself, trying to cover an hour, especially during like a slow time like this, it's kind of hard. It is Techtober though, as you can see from the name of the stream. Um, it's that time of year again. We got Google Pixel devices coming up. We got iPhones coming up. So we're gonna have a little bit of news cycle going. Also, want to touch on Samsung. They just recently had another announcement where they were actually announcing more devices. So they are really created an Instagram post the other day. Samsung is flooding the streets. All right, they got devices, at every price point. They got devices every time you look up in the news cycle. They're there. They are really swinging for the fences with numbers. Pretty much every category of device, they have something there competing. Um, Samsung is trying to, they're trying to gain that market share. I definitely think that right now it's an easy win for them as far as foldables go. I don't think anybody's messing with them in that category. They got whatever shape you want, and with them having their second generation of devices out already, they actually have their foldables at a price point where other people can't offer. Like that original fold, if you just want to dip your toe in that game, you get a fold for like $1,000, which is $1,000 is a lot of money. But when you compare that to your option for getting the new fold, you got to come out 2 stacks. So that's a leg up for Samsung. Um, so I had a couple of questions I wanted to ask you guys, and I'm gonna share this link out right quick. But see, Uno Nice in the building. What's going on with you? Appreciate you for stopping through. Just talking about Techtober, talking about some upcoming devices. But what I want to know is, are any of y'all interested in folding devices at all? Samsung, I know the Fold 2. I think it was in China or Japan. They had like 80,000 pre-orders, which is crazy, especially with it costing what it cost. But are any of y'all really interested in picking up a foldable device? I know for me, I'm not. I am. I am a tablet guy. So me being a tablet guy, it kind of makes it difficult to justify spending the extra money for a fold. If it was, if I had to look at the Note and the Fold 2 and they cost the same thing, then just to see, what that would be like, it'd be worth it. But right now, you're still paying a premium for for a foldable device. So for me, it's not, it's not at a point where you can just try it out. Like you really have to decide, like, this is the life I'm going to live. This is what I want. Uno Nice says my Z Fold 2 just printed up my return label. Yep, I'm shipping it back to Sammy. So Uno Nights, what happened, man? What was it about the experience of the device that got you to the point where you were willing to go through the trouble and the hassle of shipping it back? Because even if you, because that's my thing, right? People say, oh, you can just ship it back. I mean, I'm busy. I don't know about y'all. I got kids in virtual school. I work from home. My wife works from home. Sometimes, we're busy. So, if I know that there's a high chance I'm going to return something, I don't want to have to go through that hassle, especially if I got to ship it, right? Because I got to find a box. I got to print a shipping label. Even if I was just taking it back to Best Buy locally, that'd be different. But actually going through the pain of boxing something up and shipping it out, I don't know, man. To be honest. But yeah, like I said, for me, it's the price point doesn't put it at a place where it's something you can just try out. All right. Uh, so my baby says I'm not interested in having one myself, and I can see that just from knowing knowing you personally. I know you really don't care about having a big screen like that. So that's another thing where. So would you be interested in a regular size phone that can be folded down into something even smaller, like the Z Flip, where basically when you open it up, it's like a full size phone, but then you fold it down to like half size, and it's something that's easy to slip into a pocket or a bag or something like that. And like I said, if you guys coming in, make sure you hop in the chat and let me know. Let me know you're here, so I give you guys a shout out. Wavy Jazzy Jeff, what's good, man? What's going on? Appreciate you for stopping through. Man, I got work to do, man. I'm rebuilding over here right now. I'm gonna need some pointers, man. Harrison Lucky, what's going on, man? He said, "Where the beans at?" Hey, the beans are not mine, man. I gave them to Ashley. She likes the bean lifestyle. For me, I like the option to hear things, but I don't. That's not really a big concern with me. Um, as far as sound, I like something that goes in the ear canal, and the Buds Plus still check that box for me. Easy in the building. What's going on? What up, man? Appreciate y'all stopping through. So Ashley says maybe from a purse perspective, I would be interested in a smaller folding phone. And so I could see that. And so that gives you the flexibility to not have to carry a big purse. I know y'all have a myriad of sizes of purses. So as a lady, who has maybe you want to carry like a little small or something, and you got a phone that instead of being full size, now you can fold it down. It's like the size of like a little makeup, you know, thing, the little thing with the mirror. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe something that can fold down that size, you can slip into a little purse and not be restricted because most phones are pretty big, especially if they got a case on them. So I can see that. Wavy Jason Jeff says, I got you with the pointers on the waves. Hey man, I know, man. I be seeing you on Instagram, man. You having me dizzy. See, One Night says his conclusion says I'm not ready to use the Z Fold like I should, especially for 2K. So next year I'll be ready for Z Fold 3 because I know what to expect, and it will be even better. Yeah, that's kind of the other thing. If you pick up a folding device, you are adjusting your life around the folding device, especially the Z Fold. Because of that price point, you are now that person who has a car that, well, I can't park by the shopping carts no more, right? If you driving down the parking lot, you ain't gonna park next to a car that's all beat up, look like you're running to everything. You're gonna be a little bit more cautious. You got more stuff to think about because now you got something that's, a premium product. If you got a little beater and somebody, hit it with a shopping cart or hit it with their car door, you don't really care, But now, like you live in that Z Fold life, you pay two stacks. Now you can't really move like that anymore. You got to be more cautious. You almost, and Floss, I think Floss said it best. He said the Z Fold at this point is a second phone. He's like, you have to have another phone for everyday uses, right? Because especially with the fact that there are no cases like that available for the Z Fold, you can't ruggedize it. There's no way to do that. There's no way to add water resistance. There's no way to add, drop protection. All of the cases are little thin clip-on joints. So you really can't use that phone in every scenario. So you almost have to have another phone that you can use. You can take to the beach and not mind, getting, it getting sand on it or maybe getting wet or something like that. It can't be your primary device. And so now you got to pay the 2 racks plus maybe getting something else. There are a lot of other budget devices, but then, just the amount of money you're paying to solve that phone solution problem is you way up there now. Uh, let's see. I said definitely getting the Z Fold 3 next year. Easy says I have both the Galaxy Z Flip 5G and the Z Fold 2. Yeah, Easy. I know you've been rocking with the folds for a minute, man. Let me know, just from a durability standpoint, what your take is. 'Cause like I said, I've never, to be honest, I've never even touched the Fold. My Best Buy here sucks, so every Fold that I see is always behind glass, and they don't even have the Z Fold 2 out. They don't know when they're getting it, so I haven't even put eyes on that for real. Let's see. D in the building. What's going on, bro? Uh, he says, or a pocket. I think I missed one of your comments, man. Easy says I have a full body case for both of my foldable phones, both the Z Flip and the Z Fold 2, my daily driver. D says 2K, it better be a transformer. Well, technically that's what it is, man. It's a phone and a tablet. So you open it up. So it's kind of checking 2 boxes. Because really, if you buy the Note 20 Ultra and you buy the Tab S7 Plus with no discounts, no coupons, no credits, you basically buying the Z Fold 2. But then my thing is with the Z Fold 2, it's not the best at either of those categories. Like, it's not better than the Note 20 Ultra as a phone, and it's definitely not better than the Tab S7 Plus as a tablet, or even the Tab S7. I mean, once you start getting into screen size stuff, you really, because the thing for me, the Z Fold is kind of a square. So once you split the screen, now instead of having, now you basically have two thin, windows to multitask in, which kind of doesn't play well with all apps. But if you have something like this, with this aspect ratio, when you split it down the middle, you're getting almost kind of like two squares. So you kind of can, you have a better usage of the apps when you do split them in the middle. Illinois said, yeah, it's a different form factor, a different way of using the phone. Let's see. Design screen is not same as glass material we are accustomed to. Z Fold 2 is very nice. He said he's not ready. So Easy says he has no issues with durability. All right. So Easy, do you carry both? Like, you have the flip and the fold on you at all times? Or do you kind of tend to gravitate, to one of the over the other based on, what you can do with them? Let's see. Mark Turan, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you for stopping through. Easy says I use a pen on my Galaxy Z Fold 2 and it works great. Okay. Are you using like just like a stylus? When you say a pen, like what do you mean? Mark says Z Fold 2 is perfect for having a tablet on the go. Yeah, so I know when the foldables first came out, the question was, why would I need something like that? And basically people were trying to just throw stuff at the wall. And Samsung immediately with the first fold, I feel like their expectation for you was to open it up to the big screen. Like, the little screen on the front was almost like a notification window for the most part, but then they wanted you to mostly interact with the big screen on the inside. And I think based on the feedback they got, they realized they couldn't do that. Everybody didn't like the little small screen on the outside. So they had to add in that bigger screen because people don't want to do that all the time. But I will say with a tablet like this, as much as I love it, like I love this Tab S7 Plus. Like, I wish I could take it everywhere with me. I wish I always had it. And to be honest, it's 12.4 inches. I don't know of this technology obviously doesn't exist right now, but there's a way I could, sit down at the barbershop and take my phone and fold it out and it'd be that. That's, in my mind, that's priceless because now I don't have to make certain accommodations that you have to make when you're carrying around a tablet that's that size, right? So you have to remember to grab something like that. It's not just your everyday device for everything. So you have to, like I said, you have to make accommodations. You have to be intentional about, I got my phone and I got to carry my tablet. How do I want to carry my tablet? Do I want to carry it in the bag? Do I want to carry it in the sleeve? Do I have a case and all that stuff? So it's interesting. I just hope that Samsung keeps pushing forward no matter what, as far as with the folding stuff, because it's getting better. I even think the Duo from Microsoft, they took an interesting approach because when you pick up the Duo closed, the Duo is only a little bit thicker than the Note 20 Ultra. So I think just from a thinness standpoint, I think that is the future of folding devices because I know TCL had a device, or they had like a mock-up where they had a phone that folded 3 times, so it actually opened out into something closer to like 12 inches versus just the uh, 8 or so inches that you get now. So if you had a phone that where the components of it were so thin that closed, it looked sort of like a normal phone, and then you could Z fold it out, like accordion fold it out, and now you have like a big display. I need that to happen. I know that's far in the future. Like I said, that tech doesn't exist yet, but I need that in my life. Easy says I made a full video about my converting my Z Fold 2 to a Galaxy Note 20 with all the software and the pen. Okay, I'm about to check that out, man. Alan, what's going on, man? Appreciate you for stopping through. Says he late, just picked up his 512 Ultra. so, uh, so Alan, do you let's see, you still got the fold? I can't remember. I can't remember if you sent that back or not. Alan says, "Yo, Uno, the fold gang is looking for you." Yeah, man. Uno, he turned in his papers, man. He put in his notice. He's officially resigning from the fold gang until next year. So y'all gonna have to recruit him again next year, Alan. Make sure y'all send him his last little severance check for the fold gang because he's out. But yeah. See, Uno said next year, Z Fold 3, 5200 milliamp hour battery, screen aspect ratio 16 by 9, uh, 18 by 9 for battery app optimization, 512 storage or SD slot for more storage. Not too much else can be done. Love it. Yeah, so I heard that the battery life, and I say this on the Note 20 Ultra, 4500 milliamp hours. I was a little worried, but then once I got the phone, the first couple of cycles, I was terrified. I was almost ready to return it. But it's now to a point where it's usable, right? It's not crippling, but it's not the best by any stretch of the imagination. I think we've been saying that for years about notes. I think that when they first came out, the screen tech was so bad and so low, so low power that once you just increase the size of the phone and the battery, that was enough to give you like amazing battery life. But now we've been kind of, operating around these same screen sizes for years, and the battery sizes are going up, but also what the phones can do is going up as well. So now you're doing 8K recording, you know, I mean, with the Note 20 Ultra, I can plug up a mic, I can plug up, all kind of stuff. They want you to really use it, but the battery is just not, it's not there, man. That's really, if they did nothing else but drastically increase battery tech, because they haven't changed battery tech in a minute. Like whoever does that, I don't know if they've just gotten together in the back room and said, "Hey, we just rocking with this lithium ion, man. We're not doing nothing else. We're not trying to make any advances. If we all stick together, then none of us have to put in the money to R&D some new battery tech. So we just gonna rock out with this, and we just gonna play with the battery sizes, because there's no way, man. We've been using lithium ion batteries in phones for, at this point, decades. It is the only aspect of the phone that has not changed or gotten better. The only aspect, like it's just gotten bigger. Let's see. Phone Tech says still got it. 512 Note was $10.99 on Amazon. Had the price match at Best Buy. Okay, man. So yeah, so you missed the Samsung right now, man. I can't even argue with you. Justin, what's going on, man? He says that was such a good leap forward from the OG fold. I believe the third fold would be nice. Yeah, but at this point, kind of like Uno Nice was saying, the storage was an issue, especially at that price point. You got to come with the storage. Battery can always be, improved on, but I think that really, I think that the hole punch in the screen will probably stay. I don't think they'll go to a under display camera, but the thinness, man. Before that Duo came out, looking at the Fold, it was kind of the only device of its kind, so there's nothing to compare it to. But once you start seeing it next to the Duo, they got to do something about that thickness, because once you see the Duo and the way that it's designed to be closed, like it's flush, it's thin, it's sleek, it's uniform, it's clean. The Samsung looks like it literally looks like somebody duct taped two phones together. Like it immediately aged it real bad. But then the problem with the Duo is the user experience is kind of iffy right now, and then they had to make a lot of compromises, storage size, um, chipset, battery capacity, screen tech. Um, so Microsoft is another company that I hope continues to iterate, just because that hardware, man, that hardware in the hinge is really nice. I got a chance to play with it in my Best Buy. They had it like off in the corner on the end cap, so I got to play with it. Let's see, Big Dog in the building says Z Fold 2 for the win. Phone Tech says the Fold 2 is selling out everywhere. Samuel's going to raise the price and take more away next year. Hey man, that is the Apple way. So they probably will follow that business plan. Justin says battery tech is like tire tech. Engines are more powerful and cars are getting faster. Tires still the same in most regards. Hey man, that's a good analogy, man. Because you think about it, like I think about like the Hellcats and stuff like that, and most exotic cars, they are working with tire manufacturers and they're producing special tires just for those cars. Even like the Teslas. Elon Musk said that the only reason why Teslas aren't faster is because of tires. The tires are the limitation right now. Just the physics of tire tech limit them to making the car so fast, because you literally just dial in the horsepower. It's for them it's on demand. Dial up the torque, dial up horsepower. So man, that's a good analogy. Because right now on my Note, I can kill my Note in 3 hours. Like if I'm really like I'm out here, filming, live streaming. Like the last live stream I did, it was a little hot outside, and granted that was a temperature thing, but still, like 45 minutes, it had to start, shutting down. I think I'd lost like almost 50% battery just doing that live stream on 5G with the heat up. So there's some improvement to be done for real. Ono Knight says he's gonna miss the Z Fold 2, but he found himself using it for media, not for business or work purposes, like he uses Note 10 Plus. He says he'll be ready for the Z3. I agree, man. And look, I think that everybody needs to be honest with themselves. I think that Apple and Samsung, even to this day, after 7 years of going back and forth in tablets, Samsung knows what people use tablets for, and it's media. Regardless of everything else, regardless of the decks, regardless of all the other stuff, they use media, and the way you can tell is the aspect ratio. It's 16:9. That is, closer to, that's a widescreen aspect ratio. So that's what people want to watch media in. There's a reason why a lot of laptops don't come in 16:9, because they're productivity based, and you need a little bit more vertical screen real estate. And that's why the iPad is keeping that weird 4:3 aspect ratio, because their thing is, well, it's close to a piece of paper, and you get more vertical space when you're scrolling websites and doing stuff. But most people use tablets for media. Like there are a few that actually, especially in the Apple ecosystem, actually put in the effort to come up with a workflow using what they can do on a tablet to actually get work done. But outside of that, I mean, the two biggest things that are consumed on tablets are internet and Netflix. Well, third, and YouTube. Like people aren't out here, banging out Excel spreadsheets and typing up Word docs like that. That's just not what most people want to do with something that they buy. That's not a goal. Like they might use it for that. It needs to do that in addition to the stuff they actually want to do, which is consume media and play games. So yeah, I agree with you, man. If you're not using it for, especially if you can't use it for work, like for me, I need a pen. I'm using a pen right now. Um, that's something I gotta have. See, Mark says quietly the best Samsung device right now is the Tab S7. I'm loving mine. So you got the S7 or the S7 Plus? I know they made some changes to them, but I was hearing that the S7, No, it's still solid. Still got the most important stuff. 865 plus, 6 gig of RAM. Got the storage. You got a keyboard case. Um, yeah, mine. Like I said, I gave my laptop to my daughter just because she's doing virtual school, and I picked up the Tab S7 Plus, and man, I'm loving it. And you get the benefit of Dex, which lets you kind of have more of a desktop setup, but you get to you get to you know it's closer to a laptop replacement because it's Android. Because one of the big problems on Android stuff is there are no most apps aren't designed for tablets, especially if you're going to be using a tablet in landscape. Like you think about TikTok, you think about Instagram, you think about just random apps that are like, hey, you either need to be a phone or that's it, right? So there's an app I just paid for. It's called like Rotation Pro, and it just runs in the background. And if an app pops up and it tries to force portrait, I just pull down a notification shade, and it lets me tap the orientation, and I just tell it like, hey, when this opens, force it to do whatever the sensor is doing. So Instagram comes up landscape, TikTok comes up landscape, and that's without me going into Dex. And Dex it's even better because it just pops up in a little window, and it doesn't matter if it's vertical or not. So the Tab S7 is, to me the closest to a laptop replacement, just because of the flexibility. Let's see what else we got. Uno Knight says Duo is ugly, not feeling it at all. Duo looks like two phones together side by side. The hinge is bothersome in full screen mode. Plastic material, no outer screen display for notification. So I agree. So the look open, it does look kind of bad just because of the big bezels. I do agree with that. The hinge in full screen mode, yeah. And the other thing is the software, which is the Duo shows up to apps and websites as a tablet. So there's literally no accommodation for that split in the middle. So apps won't naturally, you know, try to adjust themselves to not display content over that gap. So that is a problem. You know, like I said, I hope that Microsoft keeps refining it. But historically, with Android devices, man, if there's a software, accommodation that needs to be made, it probably won't get made, man. So Microsoft's going to have to get to the point where they're using one full screen across the entire device. That's just how it's going to be, because app makers are not going to, they're just not going to accommodate that weird form factor. But there's no plastic on it. It's glass on the inside and the outside. No, it's premium build for sure. And the no outer display, that is that's a lot. I will say that's a lot, because being able to just pull it out, pop the power button, and see something on the outside, I feel like that's something you got to do. Right? I know Microsoft is kind of laser focused on a very specific, um, you know, group of people, but those people are not going to buy enough to. They're not going to buy enough to keep them afloat, for real. Hopefully, they learn from their last phone endeavors and kind of, you know, learn from their mistakes. Yeah, when I said Duo, no, nope, nada. Yeah, I think most people are like that too. Justin says, bingo, Apple doesn't want the iPad to be majority media, but they will continue to market the iPad Pro as a productivity device. Yeah, and that's, the Pro, really until recently, the Pro became more of an option for productivity, because if you can't manage files, if you can't, you know, read stuff from external storage, if you can use a mouse, like, I mean, those are productivity fundamentals. Like productivity, literally, there's a suite of apps called productivity, and if none of them work well on your device, it's hard to justify that. Now, video editing, that's different, but that's more content creation. I feel like the iPad is more of a content creation device. Phone Tech says every time someone brings up negative things about Samsung, the Tech Gen always brings up. I was bringing up Apple. Man, I'm not gonna get into that with you, man. I'm not gonna add like I'm not gonna act like Apple, stuff don't stink. See, Mark says the S7. Okay. Yeah, man. So the thing I like about the S7 is it's a premium tablet, even though it doesn't have the OLED screen, but at that smaller size. All right. So 12.4 inches. I mean, you're literally in laptop ultrabook territory. Like when I put the keyboard on this guy, like it is weighty. You know, it's not as heavy as the iPad. The iPad is ridiculously heavy, man. You know, but it's still not. You know, it at that point it's not very portable. That's why I say like you need something to carry it in, because the other side of it is real heavy now with the keyboard on it. But now if you drop it, if I drop this, man, I'm just gonna lay down on the ground right next to it in the fetal position, man. uh, you know, because I don't want to know what it costs to repair that. Because I know my Note 10 Plus when I dropped it, you know, shout out to 2020. I haven't dropped the phone in 10 years, but now 2020 rolls around. I dropped my Note 10 Plus 2 weeks before the Note, well, 3 weeks before the Note 20 Ultra comes out. Cracked the front and the back, and they wanted a little over $400 to repair that. So yeah, I'm not trying to see this tablet, man, at all. Uh, but yeah, Alan is he's the Apple guy, man. He's Mr. Apple. He tries to make it seem like he's not, but you can trash every other manufacturer, man. You can trash Samsung, trash LG, trash OnePlus. He's just chilling. As soon as you throw that Apple out there, that Apple shot, you start sitting. Wait a minute now. You start sitting up. Like, hold on now. I mean, I don't have hate for Apple. I just don't like them as a company. Like they are anti-consumer as a company. Like any company that sells your product and says you will use this product how we tell you to use it, that's not consumer friendly. As a business, you know, you'd be stupid not to want some of it. I mean, I got Apple stock just because that's different. I feel like their products are a terrible value proposition. I feel like Apple devices have transcended criticism, right? At this point, they are kind of on autopilot. Like they can do simple things and their products will fly off the shelves. Like these iPads, the colors, the watches in the colors, whatever they do with the 12, it's gonna sell. It don't matter. They put out the same phone for 4 years in a row, and it sold, man. Like right now, Apple is in Jordan territory, right? So if you look at Jordans, functionally, there's nothing superior about Jordans, right? There's nothing that can justify the price of a Jordan over any other shoe because they have transcended to a like it's not a shoe anymore. Like you don't look at Jordans as shoes, you look at Jordans as, you know, fashion items or, you know, status symbols. You know, once you're at that point, I mean, you're no longer bound by those other requirements. You know, I mean, that's just how it is. Same thing with Apple. Like you try to do, Apple tell you that their stuff can do everything but fly you to the moon, and you pull up a web page, and it's like, oh yeah, you can't interact with this portion of the web page because Apple doesn't allow you to run Flash. Now that's a huge limitation in my book. You know, oh you can't, you know, you can't download this file and access it from the internet. You gotta download it. You gotta. I mean, there are all kind of weird restrictions and, you know, ways they force you to try to do stuff. But you know, they still sell. uh, see, phone tech. All right, so my baby had to leave. She's going back to the lab. Phone tech said, "Glad to see you back on the Samsung wagon after your international phone stunt." But not on the Samsung bandwagon, man. I'm literally just talking about, you know, what needs to be done. And I was just talking about how nobody's improving battery tech. But when I call out Apple, like, you know, people get defensive. Can't have that. See, Joker Tech says, "What's for lunch, everyone?" That's a good question, man. I'm gonna start asking that, asking everybody what they eating for lunch. I know Android Stud was kind of getting on me. He's like, "It's lunch with the tech gent, but you're not eating lunch." So I'm gonna have to, no, give me some feedback, man. Let me know if y'all want to see me on here smacking and eating lunch, or if y'all just really want to, you know, talk and chop it up about some tech while you eat. Phone Tech says retro Jordans are fire. You talking about the Yeezys? Hey, fire. I didn't say that they don't look good. I said that they don't get the same criticism as shoes, right? So if somebody comes to the basketball court and they got on Jordans, like I would argue that Jordans are not a superior basketball shoe to some other shoes actually designed for basketball, right? From a comfort, from a ankle support stand, like all of that. Like Jordans are a fashion shoe. Like that's what they are. Like they're not doing it. Like Jordans are not pushing the shoe industry forward as far as you know shoe comfort, foot comfort, or you know any other aspect of shoes. So, but they are always some of the most expensive, and and granted there are other shoes that are released in that area, but Jordans just kind of it don't matter. Like a Jordan can be ugly, and people are like, oh yes, have you seen that new one? Ain't nobody got this one. Instantly, that shoe is now hot because nobody has it. And so that's all I was saying with the Jordan thing, man. Like I said, I don't think that there's some that look good. I'm not gonna lie. And even the thing now, they're doing the Apple. Jordan is doing the Apple thing now, where they're releasing the same shoes, calling them retros, and people are buying them up. I mean, it's just like once you reach a certain status, I feel like if Jaguar came out with the baby Jag again, like there's some people who grew up like that's their dream car, and now they got to buy a 20-year-old one if they want it. But if Jag was like, we were releasing a fan edition baby Jag, I think there'll be a lot of people that'll be interested in that because that's kind of people grew up wanting that style car. There's just like once a product gets to a certain level of fandom, it stops being about the product and more about just I think like the memories tied to it and the feelings that people have by owning it. And Apple has done that with tech. Samsung is trying, but the problem is Samsung makes too many devices. They just have too many to ever ascend to that level. Like even if they are superior in several ways, hardware wise, it just won't happen because they kind of cannibalize themselves. When you come out with, 2 phone releases a year, it's already difficult to differentiate between those two, right? So the difference between the S20 Ultra and the Note 20 Ultra, there are very few differences, and even fewer functional differences, right? So at that point, you've already created a situation where the Note 20 won't be memorable because the S20 series is around. And then right after the Note 20 drops, you drop an S20 fan edition, which makes things even more confusing. And then you also drop in these, A and M phones and, that, I don't know, man. Like I say, I don't like Apple I don't like them personally for me as a business. Like the way they do business doesn't line up with me. It's a clear money grab, right? The iPhone SE, that is essentially the iPhone retro. It's like, hey, people like this back when we released it the first time. Let's re-release it again, and we'll throw some, some old chips in there, and we'll make some money off of it. Like the amount of money they spent making that iPhone SE, I mean, it has to be laughable. Like even if the phone is $499 or whatever, $399, whatever it costs, Apple's not producing a product they're not making a certain amount of margin on. That is Apple's business model. Every device they make and sell, their profit is included in that price. So I mean, that's from a business standpoint, you have to love it because people are snatching them up, spending money, making Apple even richer. But as a as a consumer, like what are you really getting? Everybody else is swinging for the fences. Like $400 to $500, that's a highly competitive space right now. And iPhone is dropping old stuff. No, that was just facts. Sorry, Alan. Every time you brought up Apple, man, it's kind of you just kind of relit that fire in me, man. But you missed the Samsung now. So you can't be waving that Apple flag, man. You're gonna have to get you a new flag. Because you walking around with both your pockets heavy with Samsung's latest and greatest, man. You gotta start waving that Samsung flag. I get it right. I'll send you one. I'll send you over a Samsung flag. Oh yeah, shout out to Alan. Right now, I hate y'all can't see it, but got on the Team 100 shirt. We're gonna have to get some merch going, man. Like BG said, the motherfucking merch. Have to get that going. See, one night said, FedEx truck just pulled up. Had to quickly uninstall my banking apps, Gmail, etc. Put it in the box. It's on its way out of here. Bye bye. As the truck goes down the street, down the driveway. Yeah, that's I don't know, man. It's really it's hard, man. It's a very difficult sell. It's hard to hold something in your hands for 2K and be like, it don't have the best screen, but it don't have the best battery, but it don't have the best cameras, but I can't use it at the beach. But if I drop it, I'm gonna cry like a baby. But it's like, at a certain point, you have to admit that you're buying something because you want it. Like I think once you admit that, then it's okay. You're not, fighting battles with people out here in the streets trying to justify why you bought something to make you feel better about buying it. Like it is what it is. Like if you bought something because you like it, you like it. I'll never knock anybody for that. If that's your reason, like I like this, or I got this one thing that I like. Like for me, no matter what, I've always kept a Samsung device because I use Samsung Pay. To me, Samsung Pay is irreplaceable. Like Google Pay, Apple Pay, LG Pay. LG Pay kind of, but then you stuck using the LG phone. So, but that, that MST tech is the truth, man. Like even to this day, even in the world at the time of COVID, everybody trying to use, contactless stuff. I still go places and like, oh yeah, our contactless stuff don't work. So you have to, oh, what kind of phone is that? It's a Samsung. Oh, okay. Huh. Well, how'd you get it to work? That's just what Samsung does. Like it works when you try to use it. No, I'm joking. But yeah, that's one thing for me that just as far as my daily life goes, that's something that I have grown to appreciate. I've had it since, its inception, since they first brought it out. And it's actually like a functional thing that I like. So people ask me, like, even years like the Note 8 wasn't great. Right. It just wasn't. Like it was a real safe bet. That was to me, one of the worst Note years. Even with the 7 blowing up, when they came with the 8, it was obvious that they were just trying to they were rebuilding. It was a rebuilding year for Samsung. But I had an 8 because, hey, I need that Samsung Pay. See, just to say iPhone retro. Yeah, man. Phone test says sheesh, didn't even notice that. Yeah, Joker Tech says come tomorrow, his pocket will have pixel pockets full. Hey man, I'm not excited about the pixels at all. But I'll, hey, we'll see what they're working with. Yeah, Phone Tech says get your Team 100 merch. Phone Tech Team Pixel, baby. Joker Tech says Samsung Pay is the best. Yeah, it is, man. I mean, it really is. It's something Samsung stuck by. They've improved it every year. It has a competitive edge. Like it does. Joker Tech says everywhere I go, oh yeah, Apple Pay. Yep. Illinois says I had intentions on keeping it because I wanted it and loved it, but I just wasn't ready. I got my money's worth out of my Note 10 Plus. I don't know if I would be saying the same for the Z. Yeah, man, the Z Fold you buy because you want it. Like there's no value proposition that somebody can propose where it's worth that money. It's it's still, even though it's on the second generation, it's still an early adopter feel. Right? There's no mid-range foldable device. There's no budget-friendly foldable device. Like I said, I've never seen one in the wild. I haven't seen the Z Flip. I haven't seen the OG Fold. Um, like I said, even my Best Buy, they don't have a Fold 2 out there. Like I've never touched one of them. And granted, I'm not in a huge city or anything like that, but I think that kind of shows you at what level of adoption a product is at. When you can go to like a smaller town and you still see it, right? That's when I hear some, hear Apple people saying like, "Who buys Androids?" Like nobody buys them. I'm like, you can't look anywhere and not see Androids. Like, so you're not living in reality. Yeah, Justin says I've seen the OG Fold once. That's it. Yeah, and I mean, now, granted, it was real price prohibitive. Um, at the time when there was a lot of hype behind it, it was harder to get. They did have to do the whole pre-order and then cancel and redesign and re-release things. So there's a lot of, you know, roadblocks with them releasing that. But at the end of the day, though, I think that the Fold 2, its rollout is gone significantly better. People seem to be a lot happier with it. It seems to be a much better phone than the Fold, which I think is kind of what they'll have to like. It'll have to still be a phone, like even if it folds out and does all this other stuff. If the phone experience is terrible, then I don't think that it's going to be that widely adopted. Justin says, yeah, he was a retired army guy. Hey man, nobody retired army guys, man. They got that money to blow. And if you buy a Fold, you got to have money to blow. That's a minimum requirement to get a Fold. And I'll say this too. I think Samsung put a lot of respect on their previous Fold owners. I think they're doing like $800 off if you trade it in your old Fold. Which obviously, if you paid 1,900 for it a year ago, 800 don't really seem like you know like that much off. Night says, good live stream, bro. Get your hands on the Z Fold 2, and believe me, you will be in awe, and it will be hard to put down. Sending it back is hurting me. It's so hard. It's so hard to say goodbye. Hey man, that's so you rarely hear people talk about devices like that. I think the Note 7 was one that people talked about like that. People talk about the iPads like that. Where it's like, I gotta have it. Like if I don't have it, I feel incomplete because it's functionally fulfilling some, you know, I think it's functionally fulfilling some gap. Like there's something that you can do with it, some way that you're able to incorporate it into your life that without it there's a hole. Like there's something you were doing with it. And I think that if you're just buying something for hype, it never kind of reaches that level for you. Right. That's why, to be honest, man, like I sit down and talk to people with, don't get mad, Alan. I talk to people with Apples. I've been at a table full of people. They all have Apple devices. They all got cases on them. And they found out I review tech or whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, they start asking about stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, based on which iOS update you have, you got this feature and that feature and, all this stuff. And they don't know half the features, which I think is standard across the board. But then I'm like, oh, well, which iPhone do you have? I don't know. How do you tell? Uh, you don't know what phone you got? You're like, I think I had it for a year or maybe 2 years or I don't know. Especially before the iPhone X came out, when Apple did that thing where they released the iPhone 6S body style for like 4 years, nobody knew what phone they had. Everybody was like, well, is there a way I can go into the settings? Because they didn't want to take the case off because they had all had outer boxes and they all were tough to get on and off. And I was like, man, you know what? I have no idea how to tell you what phone you have without you taking the case off. Like that's just that's just how it is, man. And so for them, like as long as it's an iPhone, like it don't matter because they all run the same software. They all scratch that same itch. But yeah, guys. So like I said, we're gonna try to do this. I was gonna try 45 minutes. Love the feedback. I love the interaction with you guys in the comments, man. Definitely keep that coming. Spread the word every Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. Central Time. I'll try to keep it to 45 minutes, but based on what's happening, we might go over like we did today. The convo got pretty good. But yeah, guys, it's something to look forward to during the COVID season. It's about to get cold out here and nippy, so but today is beautiful weather. Got the sun, the window down. Loving it. But I'm gonna go ahead and head on out of here, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.